Right, okay, guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle, coming to you on a Friday from that there London. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not in Kansas anymore. I'm currently sat in Camden in my girlfriend's son's house. I've been down here all week, having an absolute blast. I do go home. By the way, you've probably noticed there's no intro or outro or any of that bollocks. There's not going to be any editing at all because I'm using a laptop here, so I'm obviously not going to be editing it together. So I thought I'd just get a wee waffle put out. I go back home tomorrow. If you follow me on my Facebook page, my Alan Stewart Facebook page, you'll have seen I've been posting various pictures from London. I came down. When did I come down? I came down on last Sunday, and I said I go home tomorrow. Apologies about the lack of videos. And saying that, I have put out a couple of videos in the last couple of days. The Martin Brown one, and what do you call it? I did another one, the 8-bit face-off kerfuffle, I think it was. So. Yeah, so I've not really been in touch though. Saying that, I was talking to Dale Boy. He did phone me. He did phone me earlier on. Had a good wee chat with him. So so all good. Oh, hang on, who's this?
Right, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, for fuck's sake, who the hell are you doing?
Jesus.
Who let you in?
What do you mean you left the door bloody open? What are you on about?
Jesus. So you mean to say when you were talking to me on the phone, you were standing outside that window, weren't you?
Yeah. Don't you know about these things?
No, I don't.
Technology a bit beyond you, is it?
It's still boy!
Hey! Look, and I've got a copy out of him.
I know.
Who says he's tight?
I know.
Jesus.
How the hell are you, mate?
I'm all right. Not too bad. It's been an interesting week. But I thought, wow, you thought you're not that far from that stupid bastard down the road. Did you think he'd like to come down to the old smoke?
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, why not?
When did I ask you that? Was that Tuesday? Yeah, just without going into any details, my daughter came down with me to London. But she had a really good 3 days, but I think she just found it a wee bit too intense. And it is, I have to say, London is very full on. I think you have to be a certain type of person to kind of like London.
Yeah.
I've always said that I wouldn't want to live in London, but I have to say, Ava went home on Wednesday. She went home Wednesday morning, so I've been down here myself Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I've had an absolute bloody blast.
Yeah.
I did. I phoned you on whatever day it was. Says, why don't you get your arse down, and you had to do a couple of wee checks, make sure your mum was all right.
Yeah, make sure everything's all right at home. And I could have stayed overnight and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, I do have to think a little bit about my mother. She's a little bit older than me.
No. You have to look after your mum. Absolutely. I'm not having Mrs. D get neglected. You know what I mean?
And of course, then we were all thrown yesterday, weren't we? In regards to the news, weren't we?
Yeah. Let's not the elephant in the room. But, there's a lot of things happen in your life. Big things, small things, important things, things less important. The Queen's died.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it came as any massive shock. I mean, she was 96 years old. Yeah. For goodness sake, she was obviously hanging on to get a telegram from herself. I'm genuinely sad.
Yeah.
When I heard the news, my sister actually gave me a wee heads up yesterday afternoon to say, do you know that the Queen's died? And I went, no, it's not been announced. And says, well, my niece works with the civil service, and she was told that I think it's called Operation Caroline or something like that was kicking in, and that only gets implemented when the Queen dies.
Yeah.
So she kind of knew about it before then, but what's your thoughts on it yourself, mate? How do you think it's going to affect people?
Well, I think it will affect a certain type of person instantly. You know, I mean, I think everybody there's a majority in this country that are of an age like me that have only ever known the Queen. Actually, it was one of those things that I had a conversation with my mum yesterday, and I said, "Have you ever known anything other than the national anthem with a celebration with the word Queen in it?" And she said she couldn't really remember the 6 years before then, and that's when it was God Save the King. So it's going to be really strange,
Sounds
isn't
weird
it?
to say the king.
To say the king
yeah.
because 70 years, and of course I'm under that 70 years, so I've only ever known it as the Queen. And there's a lot of things that I think people probably appreciate more today because of all of the media, you know, the news, the newspapers and everything. I think they've got a greater appreciation possibly of what she was, because we are unique, aren't we, having a monarchy? Probably less for you because it's Scotland. You know, I think there's a different opinion possibly of the monarchy.
I think there is. I mean, because, and I think it's kind of justified because, you know, I don't know how much the royal family costs. You know, when you factor in the police, everything, it must run to hundreds of millions of pounds, probably even more than that.
Yeah.
But and that the argument is, but they bring in a lot of tourism. Which I was, you know, Eva and I went to Buckingham Palace on Tuesday, I think it was, and there's now I mean, in fact, I would probably guarantee it's been postponed at the moment. You can pay money and you can get in, and you can go for a tour of Buckingham Palace. And
yeah, do you know where that came from, though? Where the paying to go into Buckingham Palace came from?
Nah.
It was when Windsor Castle burnt down.
Oh, when was that?
See, when Windsor Castle burnt down, it was going to cost 40 million to renovate, and of course, the whole of England was in uproar to say, "What? So our taxpayers' money is going to pay to renovate the Queen's house?"
Britain,
so what she actually said was, "It's not going to cost anybody any money, because what I'm going to do is open up a part of Buck House and charge people to come in and see an opportunity to come in and see how Buckingham Palace is. And then there'll be a small fee for that, and that will pay the 40 millions to renovate Windsor Castle." So she was thinking of the country because it was going to cost the taxpayers money. And she said, "No, I'm not going to have the taxpayers pay. I'm going to open up Buck House."
That's fair play.
I mean, you have to look at those things and go, that's a person actually that isn't that what I thought of us, you know, they're costing us money and sending them around the world.
The thing about, I mean, so kind of going back, so I do not believe that Scotland, England, North England or Wales or Ireland benefit.
Yeah.
I don't think we benefit from royalty at all. Then, of course, in the last, well, I would probably say since the mid-90s, when that hideous creature called Sarah Ferguson came along. I don't have anything against her personally, but she came along and she was the first of what you would term a leech. She was constantly on holidays, skiing holidays. Her and her lovely ex-husband Prince Andrew. When they weren't frequenting with paedophiles and Billy Connolly and what have you. Yeah, and then of course that's continued with. I've really not got any thoughts either good or bad about Prince Harry. I actually quite like Prince Harry for what he's kind of a real person. He's done his Invictus Games and what have you, but he seems to, now that he's got married to this failing Hollywood star, he's kind of sold himself. He's now said, "I don't want anything to do with the royal family anymore," and but throughout all of that, and then the least said about Prince Andrew, the better. I've always quite liked Charles. I think he's as they say in Scotland, a good cunt. I think he's all right. Charles is a good cunt. Prince Philip. I mean, he's put his foot in his mouth more times than I have in his life. He's an out and out racist and what have you. He's old school. But you know what? I think when you look at any of the things, I think it's clear to see that he loved his wife dearly, and she voted in him as well. You know, and and that's nice. And throughout all of that, the Queen has always been there, even as a kid. Even as a kid, on Christmas Day, I would rather play with my Evil Knievel. My mum, oh, we've got the Queen's speech is coming on. We need to sit and watch that. And she's always been there, and now she's not.
It's like that term, isn't it? It's what is it? Some people aspire for greatness, and some people have greatness thrust upon them.
Yeah.
You have to look at the Queen and go, at 25, there's something that she didn't want, because she wanted her father to have a son before, even if it was 2 years old when he died, it would be the heir to the throne. It wouldn't be her. Unfortunately, that never happened. So the next heir apparent was the Queen, and that's it. And she reigned for 70 years.
Yeah.
And she had that thrust upon her. She didn't want it. And then she gave up everything. Prince Philip was the person who actually gave up everything, because he was in the army, wasn't he, or the navy. And when she became Queen, he's nothing. He's not king. He's king apparent or something, isn't he, or something like that. He doesn't have the title of king. So he basically gave up his whole career just to protect her. So just think about that for a moment. There's a person who's been in the army, is an army bloke, or a navy bloke in his case, and as soon as she became Queen, he had to give up the navy work and basically just to be in the sidelines as being by her side, giving her just advice.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched. There was a documentary a couple of years ago about the Queen. I think it might have been to coincide with the Platinum Jubilee, and she basically said that he was the guy that was in charge.
Yeah,
although she was the Queen, he was the guy. She kind of went along with whatever. He was the one that was well organised. Yeah. He was the one that would sort of like.
I don't even know how much influence the Queen Mother was, because I'll tell you what, the one thing that people don't talk about much is since the Queen Mother died, nobody really talks about the Queen Mother, but that must have been quite hard for her.
I think when
your own mother dies.
Again, yeah, I mean, but as I say, it's the Queen. I think I wouldn't. I mean, I think people like Harry, and I've got my own thoughts on people like Prince Edward. I mean, there's the fringe royals who they make success based on what privileges they've had. Yeah. Sarah Ferguson is a profound bloody author and all that, and these people have good, whatever you say about it, they've got good lives. They've got all the benefits of having the money and the houses and the paedophile Hollywood celebs they can go and stay with and all that kind of stuff, but they don't have the Queen. I'm quite sure the Queen, they'll say, right, tomorrow, ma'am, you're going to open up this shopping centre. She's like, but Stranger Things is on Netflix, and I want to watch it. Sorry, you can't kick back and just let's get a Chinese takeaway and some Pringles and get a bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's all. The thing I'll say about the royal family is they are still flesh and blood, and they are just a family. You'll always have the bad egg, and I always think of, it's not the Queen's fault that Andrew turned out the way he was, even if he was her favourite, because Andrew is the favourite of the Queen. But I was just thinking of the Queen Mother there just for a moment, because if my mum tells me to shut up, I shut up, right? If you told me to shut up, I say, what the fuck are you telling me to shut up for, right? When your Queen Mother dies, then she has to carry the values forward for the country without having the Queen Mum to sort of like guide her anymore. Now, you might think she's her own woman, but even now, my mum tells me to shut up, and I shut up. I'm 50. I'm in the 50s, right? I am not going to overstep my mum. She's my mum. She knows better. Do you know what I mean? No matter what I know, whether I know it better or not, my mum tells me to shut up, and I shut up. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that must have been a big turning point for her, because then her wishes are her decision without any second guessing. She had to do it herself. And the Queen Mum might have told her to do it slightly differently, and should have listened and done it. Do you know what I mean? It's
the thing I liked about the Queen. I mean, she was still. I mean, I would love. I would love to have sat down with the Queen and made her a cup of tea and just.
How close have you ever got to the Queen?
Never.
She visited
never,
visited my town in 2008.
Did she? Yeah.
And she was in the crowd. I saw her walking past.
Aye.
Didn't shake her hand or anything.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that was a surprise. You got a small sleepy town like where I'm at. In 2008, she came along to the 400th anniversary of the town night, and she was there to celebrate. She, in her age, 2008, she was still in her 80s.
And even, I mean, I was talking to Lee on the phone earlier on, and she said that even though she met the new Prime Minister, she got out her what was her deathbed?
Yeah, 2 days.
And there you go. Probably
doing the kiss.
I mean, they haven't actually. Have they announced? Have they actually told you when she died?
Not the time.
No. And was it yesterday she died? Or
yesterday.
It was yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, the closest I know about it is everything seemed to be going around at 4:30, but it must have died before then.
Yeah.
I think that operation that you're talking about is getting everybody together because something's going to happen shortly. They have to tell the media all together in one spout. They can't say, right, America knows later than anything. And remember, they have to put that placard outside of Buck House to say the Queen has died. So they had to print that, put it in a frame, and put it outside. So that's going to take not minutes.
I suppose the security technically is going to be ramped up for Charles because he's now going from this sideline to he's the main man.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 3 o'clock. 4:30 was when people got an inkling it's happened, and at 6:30 the whole world knew. It's that sort of timeline.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
But despite the fact that she was still very posh, you knew she was the Queen. I think if she was to, apart from the fact she's dead, if she was to walk in here just now, you'd be quivering, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Queen.
It's the Queen.
Queen. But
she's on every fiver and every pound coin.
What I thought was great about her, she was still up for a laugh. I mean, London 2012. When and
Paddington and the marmalade sandwiches that I keep seeing on YouTube.
Yeah. So she was up for a laugh. Although she was still. I mean, the royal family now is like a new generation. They're more kind of normal, if you want to call it. But she was still old school. You would still respect her. She was a queen. But she had. I think she was a genuinely nice person.
Yeah, I think if you read a newspaper today and you watched enough stuff yesterday, you'll know that through all the troubles, genuinely she was well liked, well respected, a wealth of knowledge, a figurehead revered by everybody. And I think the difficulty that's going to happen now is, has that now drastically changed to the point where there's got to be an even bigger change now, because with Prince Charles coming in, I just wonder, is the monarchy going to be looked at in exactly the same way? And I don't think it will. I don't think you look at Charles and go, yeah, he's just as equally as good as the Queen, because the Queen had been tried for 70 years. He's been in the wings for about 40 years, waiting for his mum to give it to him.
And I don't think. I mean, Charles is a nice enough person, but I think people are endeared to the Queen. She's like everybody's mum,
Yeah.
I don't mean she's like my mum, but when I look at pictures of the Queen when she was in her 40s, she looked quite similar to my mum, and so I warmed towards the Queen because she was like, my mum's not been here for a long time, and I think you're not going to have that sense of warmth with Charles. The thing is, he's in his 70s now, is he not? He's
73.
He's so, what's to say? He's not going to die, so it could be in 10, 20 years' time, William's going to be the main man, and people now going to.
The one thing that happened to me when I was reading this in all the newspapers is the stark thing that comes in your face is you're seeing the facts and figures written down. So it said in one of the papers that I was listening to when I was reading when I was coming down, the Queen should have given up her role or retired 35 years ago, because that's the retirement age, 60. 70, 80, 90. That means she ruled for 36 years past retirement age. And when you look at it like that, you go, Jesus. And she was going around the country, and she was doing Remembrance Sundays and going around all sorts of towns and all that sort of stuff. I mean, 36 years beyond your working life.
And would you want to do what she done? Would you want to have been the Queen? It's as I said, you've got your scroungers, and that's what I'm going to term them. Scroungers like Andrew and Edward and Eugenie and Beatrice and all these people. They've all fallen into really nice. The only one I do like is Princess Anne, because she's the patron. She's the thing of the Scottish Rugby Union. That always amazes me when you have the old firm, you have the England.
Got to have Scotland in it somewhere.
She shakes hands and she's supporting Scotland. I think that's brilliant. But yeah, I wouldn't want.
What happens then in regards to coinage and notes in Scotland then? Because do you have? I mean, I take it you have the Queen's head on the back of your notes and the Scottish note and everything.
Yeah.
So so all of your coinage and everything's got to change, just like ours.
We're probably going to end up with Jimmy Cranky. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon.
Camilla on the back for Scotland, and we'll have Charles on ours.
See, some people I've already seen some people are going, oh, she's going to be the Queen. People,
she's Queen apparent. She's like Prince Philip. She'll never be a queen.
People are always going to be upset about her because, she betrayed Diana and all that. But, that's that. But no, I mean, we're not going to talk any more about it. But I think, and we're not going to have a minute's silence or anything like that at all. There's plenty outlets for stuff like that. I'm not going to try and pretend that I was some massive royalist, because I wasn't. But I do feel genuinely sad, and I know talking to a few people like Panther, he mentions me earlier on. Normal people who weren't into the royal family. No, it's tight. The tide's changed. Things are moving on. And it's again, it's just like everything. All the places that I've worked, they don't exist. The buildings don't exist. My school doesn't exist. Friends are passing away, and it's just another wee bit that's chipping away. I think you always, when somebody passes away, you always look at your own mortality, and you just kind of reflect on it.
I think that's that mortality thing.
Yeah.
I think there'll be people of a certain age that this is going to affect more. My mother yesterday couldn't believe it, and I said, "No, I knew it was going to happen at some point." And then people that are younger than me will probably think, what do we need a monarchy for? And all I'm saying is that's how diverse we are. And as far as I'm concerned, there are good things and bad things about the monarchy. I have no particular strong opinion about the royal family, but it's really weird that now it's a really, 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 really big change, because we're talking about all coins changing. We're going to have a funeral, a coronation. All sorts of things are going to happen very, very quickly.
I think,
and I've never seen it in my life, because she was always there.
I think, I mean, you only have to look at the news to realise at the moment Britain's in a hell of a bother. It really is. I was at the comedy club last night, and one of the comedians was going on about Brexit, and he says, at the time when it happened, he says, it was a massive thing. Now we've seen so many things happening in the last 3 years that Brexit's just kind of, we're on the verge of probably the worst recession ever.
Yeah.
People have got less money than they've ever got. Potentially we're on the brink of a world war, nuclear war. The Queen's died. Bloody hell. Do you know what? And people say, oh, you're a morbid bastard. I couldn't be happier in my life right now. But you know what? Sometimes I get to I sit and reflect on life and just things that are going on. And I think to myself, see, when my time comes, I'll be like, thank fucking time. It's time to check out. I want to cash my chips in. It's time to, you know what I mean? And I think the world's a different place from when I think, like, when my mum passed away in 1998. The world has changed so much in 30 years.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Everybody that's got an arse has got the same thing going through their heads. Yeah. And the Queen was no different. She must have known there's going to be a point where I can go no more. And apparently she knew this because she made some subtle changes to make sure that Charles was in a good place and that Camilla wasn't going to be as resented as everybody wanted, because she actually made it so that she could be named Queen apparently.
Yeah,
so she made it. She changed the constitution,
and apparently, yeah, she was integral in the whole 10-day plan from when she was involved in it. You know,
so obviously, when somebody turns around and says the Queen's mental health, she's still as sharp as a pin, I believe it. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, there's some things that my mum comes out with right now that make me think you got dementia or whatever it is, because she can't remember certain things. And yet we've just seen no end of documentaries, and we've seen certain statements and things that are going on that make you think, no, this person definitely is mentally strong. Mm-hmm. And I think that possibly she's mentally strong like that because she was challenged every day of her life. Mm-hmm. You know, you use those brain cells, and if they're not used, they die. And
people,
I think, you can do as many Sudoku as you want, people, but you're never going to have a, you know, those brain cells will die.
Whilst she was only an old woman, she was respected. Whatever you thought of Putin and Donald Trump and all these people, they all respected the Queen. And I think we're going to lose a bit of foothold in the world because the Queen's no longer. I don't think you're going to get the same. I mean, who was it? She was a matriarch of the UK. Yeah, you know, and she did, and it's weird for somebody who's not a royalist like me. When we had like a real shit sort of like 2020 and 2021, you wanted to hear what the Queen had to say, because she could resonate with the working person.
Yeah, this is where
she was able to bring herself down despite her living in this completely different stratosphere.
So this is where I have a different opinion about politics and the monarchy. Mm-hmm. Is that I had to sit and watch the Queen be by herself for the funeral of her husband.
Yeah, which is
who's been married for 75 years, sit alone, and Boris is having a party at number 10. And as much as you want to turn around and say, look, number 10 is a bunch of places all to bunch together, and they're all separate offices, and not even your managing director can know what every person is doing in every office, and having a drink is not a party, and all of that sort of stuff. This person could not go to a funeral with people next to her. She had to sit alone because of COVID reasons, and she accepted them and did them at her age.
It's a very
now that's a difference between Boris and a monarch.
No, I saw the picture this morning again. Yeah, her sitting in Westminster Abbey, black face mask on, nobody about.
Couldn't have been Prince Charles next to her.
Mourning her husband. Yeah. I think I don't think people are ever going to.
There's that aspect of it. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, when somebody dies of that particular stature, they'd have 4,000 people at that funeral. 40 it was. 40 people. Everybody else had to write, "Oh, I'm ever so sorry that I can't attend
because I'm going to party tonight."
You know, that's probably what Boris. In fact, actually, I think Boris had a party afterwards or something. But what I'm trying to say is that somebody of that stature would have had no end of people in the streets, and the procession would have gone past them. This was a lonely affair. 40 people. 40 people. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
And now that COVID is sort of like on the back burner, it's still with us. It will be different for the funeral for the Queen. It will be back to how many people respect, and there will be people in the streets and all sorts again. So maybe that'll give us the strength to move forward.
A cup, mate. You can get your empty cup. You know what I mean? Just rest in peace, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers for that.
Yeah. Nah, rest in peace, ma'am.
I thought I was going to be offered another one.
You got happy. That's another one.
Bought me a pint earlier, and I had to give him a £5 for it. This is. They say that Scott. No, I won't. Type.
So anyway, that's the big news. Right, what have I been up to? I'm not going to ask what you've been up to because obviously that'll be stealing content from your thing. I've been down
I'll
in
have
London.
nothing to say now.
I've been down in London since Sunday. Done all the touristy things. Went to Buckingham Palace. I have to say, absolutely love the underground. Best travel system ever.
Yeah,
it really, really is. And before I came down, when you want to live here, but I think I could quite happily exist down here for a couple of years. I think.
Yeah, wasn't it something that you turned around to me and said the only way that you could improve the tube is if you had China Miner to sit down and play while you were actually waiting to get from each tube stop? You said you did say that to me, didn't you?
No, you're imagining that, mate. But I went to my daughter went home and she went home on Wednesday, so I'll be on Wednesday night. What did I do on Wednesday? Went to see Back to the Future. Now I know you've seen that, but oh my, was I impressed? I just thought it was.
It is mind blowing what you consider
it's fantastic.
When you know that on TV you can get away with absolutely everything, to actually know that you can go to a stage play and have that happen, it almost looks like you're looking at a movie. Obviously I'm blowing that up, but it is that impressive.
I'd probably say it's more impressive
because
you're because it's TV is only X size. You're actually, I was in row N, so I wasn't that far from the front. I could clearly see the faces of all the characters. And yeah, the bits where the things, the DeLorean's turning round and going round, especially when he's getting to the very end before he stops and then does his 88 miles per hour. It's impressive. I think they use obviously backdrops and what have you, and lasers and that, but absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's just as good as a film. It really is.
So that's definitely a recommendation.
Oh yeah.
Come down to
if you're ever down in London and you've got any interest in Back to the Future, you have to go and see it. I got it for 55 quid. It was a £95 ticket.
Yeah.
Reduced to 55. If my daughter had been here, I probably wouldn't have gone. 110.
You're sort of living an hour in then.
Exactly.
That's a bit of cash, isn't it?
Because I had said to her, I said, do you want to go to a thing? No, I don't really want to do anything, so that's fine. But no, absolutely. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. You know what happens. But yeah, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. And then last night I went to the comedy club. Is it the 99? What's it called? 99 Comedy Club or something it's called?
I don't know.
It's in the Arboretum or something.
I saw your picture of it. You said you had a good time.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I was right at the front row. I said to the guy, there's maybe 200 seats. And of course, I'm Alan, no mates. Everyone else is in there with their girlfriends and boyfriends and groups. And I'm just standing there with my bottle of cider. And
didn't you say somebody, one of the people that went up there knew who you were because they said, "Hey, look, it's Mainmeister in the cafe." He's that one who can't get past level 2 in for games, isn't it? Apparently that's what you told me. You said, and everybody laughed.
There's obviously the 3,500 subscribers. None of them live in London, but no.
Everybody knows you in level 2 anyway. Go on.
But no, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Again, it cost me, I think it was 12 quid plus £3 for admin, whatever.
Well, that's less than going to a nightclub, isn't it? Was it now these days?
Exactly.
10 or 11 quid or
and
something.
It was about 3 hours worth of entertainment. Absolutely brilliant. So I'll go home tomorrow. I'm looking forward to going home as well.
I'm going home in an hour.
Yeah, you'll be going home in an hour, mate. I know. So yeah, what have we been up to? I met you at... Yeah, I told you.
Just tell you these directions, right? I get off the train and he texted me and he said, "Right, I'm behind a statue in London." Oh, thanks. That was the directions.
The bit you're admitting to say is I did tell you what hotel I'm outside. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah. I'm behind a statue in a hotel. Thanks. Right, now we're in London. How many hotels and how many statues, ladies and gentlemen, are there in London?
So then I text you and says that I'll see.
Oh, by the way, it's Charing Cross.
I'll see you at the Charing Cross exit, and then you text you 10 minutes later. I said I'm standing outside Nelson's column. Fucking hell.
Because there are like 5 exits. I mean, you're the person that's supposed to be meeting me. You could have said, "I'm going to exit 10."
I don't bloody know. I'm not from
Yeah.
London. I know there's more than one exit.
You've used the tube all the time that you've been
There's
here.
only one exit. I come out. I don't bloody know. Because you're the fucking guy that almost lived in London. You're the English person. I'm from Haggis-land, man. Bloody hell.
So anyway, that was the start.
Yeah,
That's the start of a happy day.
Yeah, it's been fucking marvellous, isn't it? The times you're training.
Yeah, any minute.
No, it's been good, and I mean, this just proves how real social media, YouTube is. We never knew each other. You knew me through. How did you come about watching my channel? I'm always interested as to know how. Did it just pop up?
Well, I did a search. People who can't get past level 2, and your name came up.
No, was that? I think
no, seriously. It was before the pandemic. Not much before, because I'm quite late at school, compared to some of your people, which you actually name as saying, "This is my second subscriber. This is my 160th
Brian and Andrew. Yeah.
I don't know what number I was. Of something like 6,000 something or other. Anyway, and I just felt there was something about the channel that made me feel like, he actually probably wants to know what I'm feeling about something, because he did a waffle. He said, "Ask me any questions."
So how did you actually? How did my video come up? Was it somebody else that you watched?
Well, that's what I mean. It might have been somebody that mentioned it to me, or it just came up in my YouTube feed. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't purposely looking for a waffle. I didn't type in the word
you don't
waffle.
like toffee waffle
And I've always been known to go on YouTube to look at comparisons of games. But the first thing I saw of yours definitely was a waffle. So it must have just come up in a tube. And from that point onwards, I just felt more like at home. It felt like that home.
Well, it is.
Okay.
And I've always it's a good and bad thing. I always feel I'm blessed with the fact that there's a good base of people that not watch my videos. It's when you do live streams, obviously it's more interactive. People come along, and it is a good bunch. When I'm sitting in the sidelines waiting to come on, the intro playing, you can see everybody chatting to each other.
Yeah,
and it's a good community of people, and I think I'm really lucky. But then the downside to that is I never ever want anybody that's new to the channel to go into a live stream and go, "Oh, he knows him and he knows him," and have too many in jokes, etc.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. I don't want to isolate anybody, because at the end of the day, I do this for fun, and if somebody happens to get a bit of enjoyment out of watching one of my videos, then I've set out, I've achieved what I've set out to do.
Yeah.
But getting back to that. So I mean, obviously, for most channels, I mean, when you watch these bigger channels, they don't know any of their subscribers by name. It's just, smash that subscribe buttons, hit the bell notification, all this bollocks. If you want to contribute, you want to sign up to Patreon, all that kind of stuff. You don't get any of that sort of interactivity. So for people like ourselves to then eventually meet in real life, it's proof that we all go on about, and I went on about it earlier on, about the world's turned to shit, society's screwed, and then you know what, you have to sometimes just stop and actually look at all the wonderful things that are happening. And I think it's safe to say that, I mean, you've had a few issues, personal issues in your life. I've had a few issues. Other people have had things going on, and there's always people to talk to. It's wonderful, and then you get to meet face to face. It's like it's like we've known each other for years.
Yeah. I would definitely say talking about aspects of your life that you don't mind talking about definitely improves your mental stability. I'll say that. There's still things that are private that you know what I mean. But I would say that I feel 60-70% better since doing a blog, starting a blog, which wouldn't have started if it weren't for the fact that I got quite close to how you conduct your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I mean? There are things that you take away that you recognise that you could do in yourself, and that then progresses you forward into advancement of good. And that's what I take away from doing it. As much as I take the piss for level 2, because he can't pass level 2 shit. We played a game today, didn't we? You got no fucking further in it than I did.
You're the fucking expert at Ghosts and Goblins, apparently, and you can't play Cuphead for toffee.
So that was we've come to the conclusion. I definitely can get to level 3, and you can't, and we end it there, really.
You finished?
Yes.
Bastard.
Oh, and you got the betterment of something, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wasn't there something today? Tell them
What you've
got ordered that's coming.
Yeah. It's a loudspeaker thing.
This I forgot all about.
Yeah, it's damn. I have to say, it's damned impressive.
I brought this down to Alan. Right, this is from Amazon. Right, it's no bigger than that. Damn heavy. Right.
Can you pair it to my? Go and get your phone out.
No. I was just going to show the people, right? And it's bloody loud. I don't think. The reason I was saying don't want to pair it and everything is, I don't think your speakers and all that sort of stuff would recognise it. Really.
No, you don't get your phone there.
Yeah.
Like play.
No,
that.
it's over in my coat.
No, it doesn't matter.
But all I'm saying is, this is waterproof, bloody loud and clear. Comes in a carry case. It cost me £10, and you bought one today, and it's only gone up £5. And I tell you what, it's damn good.
It is, and it's solid. Absolutely.
It's bloody heavy. It's as heavy as Alexa.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I've got myself one of them. I think it's £15.
Yeah, 15 quid you bought. So it's gone up £5, but you can take this in the shower.
Yeah. You can look at it one way and say it's gone up 50%, which is outrageous.
Well, yeah,
when you think about it, it was like that. It was like that Steam game that you went on about, one of the Atari games, and I paid £3 for it, and you told me you'd got it for £1. I'm like, I paid 200%
by a day. Yeah, it's not my fault. That's Steam for you, isn't it? Their sales. Anyway, but that's taking us back to retro anyway. So. Yeah.
But I can't not mention, and I've obviously haven't been biting my tongue for the last few weeks. Hopefully, if you've seen the Play Blackpool announcement, I am going to be talking to John Romero, Doom bloke. Really excited. I don't get nervous when I talk to these people.
It's called We're All Doomed, isn't it? Is that the subtitle for it? We're All Doomed.
But I mean, I think it's fair to say John Romero he's like a sort of rock and roll of, he's a cool dude. He looks like a Kenny biker. He wrote Doom. I mean,
well, yeah.
He single-handedly. Well, he didn't single. He did that with John Carmack, I think it was. They single-handedly invented the first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's almost like having half the people that made Elite there, isn't it?
Yeah.
With David Braben and Ian Bell, where you've got half of the team that made Doom. So I mean, that's a pretty much a rock and roll.
So no, I mean, I'm really looking forward to meeting John. I'm not going to say any more about the other announcements because I don't think Play Blackpool have actually announced it as yet, so I better not say too much. But suffice to say, there's another 2 panels, and you're not going to be disappointed. Some great people, and obviously you've got me as a host. So what can I say? They must be fucking desperate. I like to think I inject my own sense of humour into these things. The fact I've done it once and they've invited me back. But if they do want me back again for another show, they're going to have to up the ante a wee bit. I think they're going to have to cover my expenses. But
it's a lot of work. If you think about it, really, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work outside of what already doing hard work.
I don't mind naming and shaming. I mean, I've never met the guy that wants to play Blackpool. I'm getting nothing for doing it. No. I'm getting the paying for my hotel. They're giving it some Norbrick. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they're paying for my hotel. They've given me a couple of free tickets. You're working. You're going to be one of the mic men.
Yeah, I've got to carry a mic around.
Yeah, so
put it underneath. Put it underneath.
So Lee,
Dennis Pettis there.
I have to tell you, like Lee's, she's already bagged the John Romero gig.
Oh, right.
She's wanting that one, but you've got other fantastic people when it's going to be.
I've got Jimmy Cranky.
So that'll be good. So yeah, hopefully if you can get a chance to come down to Blackpool, it'll be great. Great to see you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. It's going to be nice to get out again.
Yeah, then you'll be seeing me twice in bloody 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, there's downsides.
There is. I know. I was thinking that. So that's kind of been it. I can't think of anything else. Play Blackpool.
There's my £50 fee for coming down.
You didn't mention that, mate.
He said he was going to give me a cheque. Bastard.
So yeah, I will be. Oh, but we need to do the questions. Actually, we need to have a look and see. Yeah, we'll use my phone. What I was going to say, I will be along on Sunday night, as usual, for the Sunday live stream.
Is it on the fly again, or have you thought about what you're going to do?
No, I've no idea. What was the last one I done again?
We did Team 17. And then
it was Team 17. That's the last one that I've done. That's the last one I've done. I don't know. I'll think about it between.
Well, the nice thing about knowing in advance is whether I needed to keep Notepad open to write down everybody's bloody requests.
No,
I'm moaning again.
You've done nothing but bloody complain. Okay, hell. Right, there's only. Did I do a live Friday Waffle last week? The last one.
No, you recorded it.
Did I?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
No, it was
live.
No, it was live on Saturday.
So did I do
right.
Did I do the questions from the week before?
Yeah, you did, because you read my one.
Did I? Right, okay.
My shit one.
Alright, I can't remember what it was. It was instantly forgettable, obviously. Right, okay, I've only got 2 questions. Mr. Colin Jones watching the Saturday stream. Of course, that was on a Saturday of the Friday Waffle. I would love a diary of game progress. Oh yeah, but completely. I've not. Did I mention about the games back on? I don't think I did. Yeah, no, I did. Yeah. Because Holly was in the stream as well. Yeah, way of exploding pish is going to be a thing. Holly's going to single-handedly. She's going to be programming the game. She's had stuff to deal with, and she had to kind of move away from YouTube for a while, and that's absolutely fine. But delighted to say that she's back again, and I think the game is going to be something. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have a kind of a beater.
Well, my mum's looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, your mum's going to be in the game, mate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's looking forward to it.
I would categorically say that your mum will be the oldest living person to actually appear in an 8-bit game. I don't think there's any. I mean, is there any other live real people who appeared in games? I mean, I'm sure Manic Miner, is it Maria? She was the housekeeper. I'm sure that was based on somebody that Matthew Smith knew.
I really don't.
But I can't.
I bow to your knowledge on that.
I mean, Jeff Minter, he had Attack of the Mutant Camels. I'm sure there's a mini Jeff Minter, and I'm sure there's a mini Ronald Reagan. Is he not in it at some point? But I can't think of anybody else.
See, my favourite game by Minter was Metagalactic Lambs Battle at the Edge of Time. So that's not going to have any of that sort of stuff, because all you've got there is a llama and a spider, and that's it. Nothing else. That's all you had for 3.5k of RAM.
Well, of course, there's Bruce Lee. We can't forget Bruce Lee.
Well, no,
but he wasn't around to play the game, unfortunately. No. So anyway, Colin's saying here he would love, because what Holly did say was she's planning to kind of. She asked, "Do you want me as in Holly, to put up like incremental updates in the game?"
Oh yeah, you said that you wanted to be a bit selfish, didn't you?
And I said, no, I think you should kind of keep it to yourself and then see updates. But I don't know. Maybe having the update thing would be quite a good thing. It'll help kind of keep the interest going. But I do think it's going to be, when it comes out, I do think there's going to be a really good reaction, because Paul Moz is hopefully going to be a packed-in demo. The Kickstarter, which means there's going to be about 800 people instantly going to get the demo for the game. So Colin's saying here, I would love a diary of the game progress. I used to follow this sort of thing back in the 16-bit days. That kettle thing from BJ. What the hell was that?
You had to go and get a kettle, and you needed a kettle lead, and you found that they were all
yeah.
wired.
Did I mention that?
Yeah, it wasn't. What you went to computer club. You went on and on about it.
I can't remember. That kettle thing from BJ was supposedly related to investment in nuclear power. What the fuck is he talking about? That kettle thing from BJ. What's BJ?
It's supposed to be related to investment in nuclear power.
What the hell are you talking about, Colin? I have no idea. You're
power is
that kettle thing from BJ. What's BJ?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry, my brain's gone to mush.
Bomb Jack? I've no idea.
Kettle thing from Bomb Jack.
I haven't a clue what you're giving about. That kettle thing from BJ was supposedly related to investment in nuclear power. Well, I don't know what he's on about. Well, nuclear power is a viable stopgap generating technology, but it's not quick to implement and has a bad reputation. The reality isn't as bad as the reputation, but I don't see it. I think he's been looking at. He's been on smoking the funny cigarettes or looking at the wrong video.
I'm just trying to. I usually remember word for word what your streams are, but I can't think what
kettle thing.
Is. The only thing I remember about the kettle is you were talking about the kettle, the computer club, and you said you went to go and get a kettle lead. They didn't have such a thing as a kettle lead. I couldn't remember, but I'm so sorry, Colin, if I got it wrong. Word for word, I usually remember what's going on, but I can't think what this is. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've no idea.
Normally, I'd say you're in the wrong, but hands up. I can't.
Right. Okay. Foodgate question. Oh god, it's going to infiltrate my channel now. What is your favourite and least favourite fruit? Favourite fruit?
Yeah. Well, welcome to my life, and I ain't answering. I'm not giving my opinion. Foodgate is back there.
My favourite fruit is probably strawberries. No, they're not. It's not. I don't like them as much as I used to because back in the 70s and 80s, you only got strawberries in the summertime, and invariably you had to go and actually pick them. Whereas now they're just there the whole time. My least favourite fruit is pears. I don't like pears. I don't like the texture of them.
You don't get nothing for a pear.
No, you don't. It's kind of it's like eating sand. It's got that horrible.
You told me you love it. that was something else. I'm pretty sure of it. There we go.
If any of my lady friends are watching this, I do apologise.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was
old school.
Yeah, that was totally uncalled for. Wait a minute, what the hell's going on with the Friday Waffle? It's back again.
What are you doing?
Right.
Technology,
Okay.
honestly.
Thanks, Colin. You need to fill us in. Kettle from BJ. We're going to go. Oh, that's what it was. I have no idea what he's talking about. Right, and here we go. Right, let's get a deep breath. Milfy Swinbuckle.
It's where my brain explodes.
Hello again, Yep, Main Meister. Here's a question or a question for the next waffle. You wake up one day in a parallel universe. This will give you time to think.
Yeah, I've done that
I don't
today.
know. Have you got that same one? And your
I
one?
don't know.
Yeah, don't know.
In fact, I shouldn't listen because it's probably the same question.
I'll answer it. You don't have to answer. You wake up one day in a parallel universe. Everything is exactly the same, except in this universe, computer games don't and can't exist. So even though computers do exist, no game can be written for them. So my question is, what do you do within this universe to fill the void of not being able to play computer games?
No, I get the question. It's just that what's the likelihood that there are computers that nobody's ever heard of a game? No, seriously, I'm just going, okay, right? No, it's a valid question because, we used to have a phone and now we can take pictures on our phones. But imagine a world where you've just got a phone and it acts as a phone. What would you do when you want to take pictures? I mean, you haven't got that luxury anymore. So here's a computer, you can't write games for them. So what are you going to do with your life with a computer in front of you?
I mean, if things were to suddenly change, if all computer games were to be outlawed, and then
it's not outlawed.
Vanish,
but I'll tell you what, the one thing that I would do is invent the bloody game. I'd be going, right, I'm kind of cash it in now. There's a thing called a game, right? See this computer that you don't just have to use it for word processing, you can write games, right? Number 1 comes out next week and I've copyrighted it. So that's billions I'm going to be made. And then I'll just bugger off.
Are you finished?
This parallel world, I've just invented the game.
Are you finished?
I'm king of the parallel world.
I thought you weren't going to answer this.
All right, sorry.
Fucking hell, right? You've just listen. Don't bother watching Dale's blog because you've seen it all here.
Right, go on, answer your
right,
question.
okay. So it has been when I think about how much. I mean, let me actually think now. How much do video games impact in my life right now? I play. I mean, I've brought my Nintendo Switch down. I've been playing it a wee bit. I've maybe played a couple of hours since coming down to London. I've got 3 arcade cabinets in my kitchen. Couldn't tell you the last time I switched them on. I play a wee bit of the Xbox Series X. I don't actually play that many video games. And most of the time I play video games is when I'm doing my live stream. I'll play. So I actually play very, very little. Would I miss not having them? Absolutely. And I do sometimes think to myself, how would my life have panned out if I didn't have that interest? Because a lot of my friends had Spectrums, Commodore 64s, and then they got to like 20 and they just their life went off in a different route. Whereas I've always had this hobby with computer games. I don't know. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I do. I've always been quite a social person, so I always like to kind of be with people. I like sport. I mean, I've done my running and squash and whatnot. What would I don't know. I think right now in my life, the last probably 10 years in my life, I don't play many video games. Yeah, YouTube has taken up quite a bit of my time, and that's obviously tied to video games. So if I didn't have my YouTube channel and video games, then I wouldn't. Sorry, if I wasn't playing video games, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would probably have still stumbled into YouTube and I don't know, done other stuff. I do like the creative aspect of YouTube. I might have, I don't know, not done acting, whatever, but I don't know. I would have probably still got involved from a creative. Shut the fuck up! I would have probably still gotten.
All I'm thinking of at the moment is, have you fucking answered the question? Because I don't think you've had. All you've done about is sport.
What's he actually?
Different directions. He wants to know.
Right, he's asking me
in this parallel world, what are you going to fill in your life with? Being as there's no.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that I would have a YouTube channel.
What's your friends going off with Spectrums and doing all that got to do with it?
No, I've been actually trying to think about. Yeah, if I hadn't got into the computer game things, what would I have done? So what is he saying that? Right, computer games do exist.
No, nobody's ever heard
they've never existed. So that's
there are computers.
So if
you
I
do
had
everything that you want with computers, but nobody's ever heard of what
I would have been like my mates. I would have been. Sorry, I would never have played the computer.
Hello, McFly.
Yeah. No. So I think. Thank fuck! I only come to London once every year. Jesus Christ, man! This would be a monthly thing. Never mind a weekly thing. No, I think I would have probably got more involved with like sport. I'd have probably taken up another hobby, maybe photography. I've always wanted to write a book. Maybe I'd write a book. I don't know.
Well, that's a very sensible answer. In fact, you could have answered it 5 minutes ago, couldn't you?
No, well, you've got to think these things through. You've got to think to yourself, if I didn't, well, I'll tell you one bonus. If I didn't, wasn't into computer games, I wouldn't have to put up with this shit.
No, that's very true.
Okay, hell. Anyway, that bombshell. Is there no time for you? What time is your train?
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
I think you better mind your time. I think you better mind your time. Anyway, that's the last. I think that was the last question.
Was it?
I think it was. Oh no, there wasn't. So anyway, what would I do? I would still have YouTube. It would be talking about other stuff. I've always had a hankering to do stand-up comedy. Maybe I would have found the balls to do that. I don't know.
Well, you've got a lot more time to work on your act.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
As a secondary question, is the above question the daftest you've ever been asked?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think what the.
No, the one last week, Milfy. It was from you as well.
Jesus, some of them are like brilliant. I've got to stop and think. Very, very last thing, just getting it back onto video games.
Yeah.
I've seen a few videos based on the Steam Deck, and I have to say my kind of interest has peaked again. I don't know why, because I'm thinking to myself, right now it's still not really portable. So what's the difference between just doing anything you can do in a Steam Deck, I can do in my PC.
Nothing's changed in regards to me. If you wanted to know my opinion on it, it's interesting to see what people's expectations are of the Steam Deck on Discord, and then look at, if you type in Steam Deck on YouTube, what people's experiences are. Because I think what people's expectations are is that when somebody says the battery life doesn't last very long, there's another person that goes, but it's working well for me, and then it gets confusing.
Yeah, because I think 8-Bit Steve, one of the guys who watches the channel, he's got one, and he says
that's fine.
But
that's fine. But what you got to understand is people that spend £600 or £700 or £500 on a Steam Deck or whatever, they want to turn the values of the performance all the way up. They don't want to turn things down. And so if you turn things down, your battery lasts longer. If you turn things up, your battery doesn't last very long. So what I'm trying to say is both of them have got an opinion, and everybody's got an opinion, should I say, about the Steam Deck. From my point of view, it's a portable device, and I'd like to have the best ability I can have while portable, because that's the whole point, is that you can carry a big AAA game around with you and still have as much enjoyment as if it was on a 55-inch screen in front of you. To have that experience, you turn the things up. If you do that, you get an hour and a half battery. If you're willing to cut the frame rate from 60 frames to 30 frames, the brightness halfway down, and run a game at a lower resolution and so forth, then of course you can get 3-4 hours life out of it. The thing about it is that you don't have those sort of settings generally on a Switch. You have brightness control, contrast controls, but basically the experience you get on the telly is virtually or nearly the same as what you get on the console, and then you know what the battery life is like. This battery aspect of the Steam Deck, as far as I'm concerned, is its main Achilles heel. But there are other things for me on why I wouldn't have one. And yeah, the price is pretty high. But I think it's a great product. That's the thing. It's just, it's not for me.
I think when we eventually get to a point, and the Steam Deck's probably almost there, because from what I gather, it runs like PlayStation 3 games and what have you. If somebody could say to me, there you go, for 500 quid, I'll give you this handheld, you can do 10 hours battery, you can plug in your TV, you can play every system ever, then I would probably quite happily say, right, you know what, I'm going to be moving house soon, let's get ready everything, I've got to do the cabs, I'll get ready all my hardware, and I think, right, great, I've got everything in this. If I want to play Manic Miner or Jetpack or whatever, if I want to play Halo, it's on that, great. If somebody can give me a one-stop shop. I watched an interesting video with Steve Benway. It's the GPD something or another, and it's a handheld, and it plays PlayStation 3 games at like a higher res, and it looks phenomenal. And that was part of the reason that kind of piqued my interest in the Steam Deck, as he said, "Oh, this is the best, 100% the best console I've ever owned." He says the only problem is, I think it's 500 odd quid, which is a lot of money. And then he said, and also he says you can get a Steam Deck cheaper, and the Steam Deck is more powerful and will do more than this. And I thought, so you're telling me the Steam Deck's cheaper and it's even better than that thing? I'm like, ooh.
Like I said, it's one of those things where whatever I just said just now, I still think the Steam Deck is an excellent product. It should be out there on the market. And I think it's the number one thing to buy right now if you want a portable machine. But if you want to do things that are not portable, i.e. stick it on a monitor, all of that sort of stuff, as far as I'm concerned, I can do without it. I've got my PC.
Yeah.
I've got all my other stuff that's around me. It's the portable nature of it and the flexibility of what it can do that gives it its name. And it's powered by the people that do Steam. And if anybody looks at my Steam library, I've got over 2,000 games. And what's there not to love? It's just for me. I don't travel to London very often. I've come today. All of that sort of stuff. I'm not staying overnight. I'm not so interested that I can't turn my Xbox at the bottom of my bed on and not play a game. Even if I wanted to, play a game in bed at night before I fall asleep, I can still do that because my controller's not wired. So basically, I could play an Xbox game on my telly.
I have to say though, that Switch, I love my Switch.
Yeah,
I think pound for pound.
Switch.
I think it's pound for pound is the console that I play the most.
Yeah.
The fact that you can just take the little Joy-Con things. I mean, Ava and I were playing Super Mario Kart 8 coming in the train. See, it lasts a while as well.
You see, the Mister's a different argument. You see,
the
Mister is a totally different argument, and you can understand why people want it, and why people are disappointed because there's no components for you to be able to get it at a decent price. The Steam Deck is a different argument again on the reason why you'd want it, and that's the whole point from my point of view, is that I agree it's got a good side, it's got a bad side, and you need to concentrate on which one of those things affects you. But also remember, you're answering the question for portability, not for anything else. Because anything beyond portability, you can do on anything else. So,
I mean, when I think about it, I could sell a Vectrex or an Atari 800, and I would have the money, have the funds to buy one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
hey, do you know what my watch just said? I'm in a great lot of stress. Yeah, I've been sitting next to it for about 6 or so hours now. That's what it is. My watch says, you're under a great lot of stress. Thanks. No. Recovery time delayed, a high level of stress slowed your recovery.
Am I getting the blame for that? Okay, Jesus. Right. Anyway, as I always like to do, just to annoy all the OCD people, it's now 1:07. We could have cut it. We could have chopped that an hour, but we always like just to kind of annoy people. So
it's my fault.
Anyway, listen. It's been good seeing this guy. I'm going to accompany him back to the station. Can't come too soon.
He said I'm going to frog march there and make sure you get out of this. That's what he said.
I'll make sure you get on the
train. You're definitely out of here. Go on.
So, listen, mate. Thanks for joining me. I will see you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Finally, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See you later.
Bye. Let's hope that recorded.